Emily, perhaps you can enlighten everyone watching why women are bow hunting more so compared to, let's say, the conventional hunting setup.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, we hosted that huge roundtable with all the leading ladies. And that kind of came on piggybacking off of our June issue, which was our first ever women's issue. But we had a woman on the cover, looked at some of those ladies who are really paving the way. And I got to do some research on the reasons that women are really getting into bow hunting and why those numbers are increasing so much. So one of my biggest sources was talking to the Archery Trade Association. And they were really helpful. They've conducted a lot of studies looking at the numbers of archery participants in general and bow hunters. And they report that currently 16% of all bow hunters are women. And really, it's been growing for, over the last decade probably, but it's really exploded since about 2012. That's when the first Hunger Games movie came out. The movie Brave came out. And then you have shows like Arrow and just all these things where archery is just becoming pervasive in pop culture. And not just that, but even female bow hunters. So there's these heroines. And so I remember Teresa Johnson of ATA, she said, it's becoming socially acceptable now for women to be bow hunters. So it's like, we got our permission from pop culture to get started with this. Another big thing is the whole movement of field to fork meals. So you have people looking in the grocery store for free range meats or switching to paleo diets, and there's no way to get closer to your food and know where it comes from than to be hunting. And really, like you said, it's a completely different experience when you're bow hunting. So you might shoot a deer with a rifle, 150 yards away, but when you're watching it come in and, just all the preparation you put in to the season before bow hunting, it's completely different. And you have that different kind of connection with your food. And also, we definitely see a huge growth in the amount of gear that's available for women. Mm-hmm. So we talked to people like Vicky Cerulo, who's been hunting for decades, and she started off with a kid's bow and wearing her husband's oversized camouflage. It just wasn't fitting right. But now you have companies like Matthews who are creating women's bows and Sitka who just released their women's line. So it's really becoming a lot easier for women to find the products that they need to successfully bow hunt. And then coming off that, you just see more and more women on television and in the media that are being successful. So people like the Vicky Cerulos who've been around for years and paved the way, but then somebody like a Sarah Bomar who's reaching a completely different demographic and is definitely newer to the scene, but is really helping the sport grow. So there's a lot more role models for women who are looking to get into bow hunting now.
That is so true. And you can just see it so readily apparent on Instagram and like Eva Shockey is very good with promoting the bow hunting aspect and bow hunting sphere, Sarah as well. And there's so many women, and it's interesting to see them choosing that as their preferred method of hunting versus conventional. Like they'll probably still use shotguns and conventional tools, but bow hunting, from what I gather, seems to be more challenging. And then when you challenge yourself using a bow and then harvesting an animal, I guess you feel a lot more accomplished. Is that what most people usually reason?
Absolutely. It's definitely a lot more rewarding. You're practicing year round. It's pretty easy to sight in a rifle and go shoot it. And that's not taking anything away from hunting with a gun, because I still do that too sometimes. But it's just a completely different experience and a different sense of accomplishment when you have a stick and string and you're able to bring down an animal.